Hey guys, I am so excited to make this video. I've been waiting to for a really long time. This is the Q&A kind of info video about my book. I don't know how many of you follow Writers on the Wall, the collab channel I'm in, but if you aren't yet and you are my subscriber, you should definitely go over there and subscribe. This is my book. It's called Wingless. I showed this in my last video and on Writers on the Wall, and I'm really excited that it comes out at the end of this week. For sale on Amazon, so I'll link that to you when it gets here. But today I just really want to talk about what it's about and the characters and the plot and what's going on with it, because I am so proud of it. It's like my baby, and so I'm really glad to share it with you guys. I was going to give you guys this really weird synopsis that I just came up on the spot. I was just going to wing it for some reason, even though I have a synopsis on the back. So I'm just going to read the back, which is what a lot of book reviewers do. So here we go. When Charlie Green, a 17-year-old self-proclaimed coffee addict, witnesses an angel fall onto his front lawn, he believes his adventureless summer might just turn around. Nearly emotionless and completely out of touch with humanity, Tane is every bit the heavenly piece of excitement Charlie has been waiting for. Being chased by mutated cannibals, talking to alligators, falling in love, and breaking a patient out of an insane asylum were definitely not on his to-do list. Tane is a listener from Fismouth, a dark and fantastic place of hierarchy, monsters, and heavenly beings. Chosen by her leaders and taken out of training, she is sent to Earth to find a scepter, a lost soul left behind long ago. The only problem, Tane has no idea who or where the scepter is, but Tane treads dangerous ground when she enlists the help of Charlie and his friends, inadvertently dragging them all into a world of untold beauty and fatal corruption. On a journey rife with prophecies, and from a land built on blood, Tane discovers the true meaning of humanity as she fights to get back home before she loses her abilities forever. So yeah, that's basically what it's about. It's about a girl named Tane who was dragged from Earth to heaven when she was 12 years old, and she discovers that heaven is not what we perceive it to be. It is just a world. It's a whole other world where people who have abilities on Earth are taken, and they are trained, and they are their skills are honed to make them better. So basically, I'm going to give you the rundown of this world called Fismouth. We perceive it as heaven. There are 5 prestigious senses. You are dragged on which sense of yours is heightened, you know, the 5 senses, and then there is also a couple of other creatures that we'll get to. The lowest off is the feelers. The feelers have a heightened sense of touch. They can create force fields around themselves. They get hot and cold very easily. They can inflict pain by touching you. The only drawback to that is that when they inflict pain on someone, they feel it just as strongly. So they're not really the warriors of Fismouth. They are mostly the protectors. They create force fields around the warriors, who are the flares. The flares have a heightened sense of smell. They are very buff. They're very manly, except for the women. The women are just very muscular. There are men and women flares, and they are the warriors. They hunt. They smell, like they track things. When they're fighting the mysterious creatures that we'll get to at the end, they are the ones who can inflict pain without feeling it themselves. So that is why they are the warriors, quote unquote. And then we have the listeners, which is, I'm actually going in order of the hierarchy, by the way, if you didn't know. Then we have the listeners, who is what Tane is, my main character, one of them, and she has a heightened sense of hearing. So listeners, if they're advanced enough, can hear thoughts. They hear sounds from far away. Their only detriment is that when they hear very high-pitched squeals, like, you know, when you hear a brake on a car outside, they basically fall to their knees. It completely incapacitates them, and they just can't function. And then we have the Watchers. I'm pretty sure you can guess where this is all going. That's the heightened sense of sight, see the future, see the past. They can see through false pretenses, so if you're lying to them, they know because they see it. Then we have the Scepters. The Scepters are the highest of the high. They have sight, sound, touch, and smell, all heightened. The Scepters are very treasured. They are seen as the blessed ones. Some actually are prophets, scepter prophets, and they can make prophecies that will come true no matter what you do. No matter how many people rebel against the outcome, it will happen. And those scepters are even more revered, and so it's very like levels within levels, but we're not going to get into that. You can read about it. So, of course, for everything good, there has to be something bad, and the bad is the feeders. I'm sure you probably noticed that I left out his sins, and that's taste. Feeders are basically cannibalistic, mutated beings. They live in the outlands, and they are very much hated because they rely on their sense of taste for everything. They are blind, they are deaf, they can't even smell. They taste the air around them kind of like a snake in order to seek their prey. Feeders have quite a few weapons at their disposal, especially if they're third generation. Third generation feeders, they have claws. They have really sharp teeth. They can let out this disabling shriek, which is especially detrimental to the listeners, and they are extremely fast. And then we have the workers. You probably wouldn't think that's very interesting. The workers are some of my favorite characters because they are actual angels, but they were enslaved by the prestigious ones, which are the Watchers, Listeners, Stealers, Flayers, and Scepters, a very long time ago, and so now they are simply workers. They are no longer angels. They do the farming for the prestigious, and they are basically slaves. So that's basically how Fismith works. It's a lot to get through. I'm really sorry. I was trying to get it so that you would understand. I don't know if I'm going to put that in there or not. And then we have Charlie. Charlie is one of my main characters. He is so near and dear to my heart. Charlie is just a normal human. He is really funny. He's kind of goofy. He is the one who sees Tane fall from the sky, and she lands right on his lawn. She asks him to help her find the scepter, and he agrees, and he has two friends, Bethany and Felix, and one of them agrees to help. One of them is like, this chick's crazy, but you'll read about that later if you read about it later. This whole book is about Tane and Charlie pushing against everything to find out who the scepter is and then retrieve it. That means Tane has to take it back to Fismith. And all the while, Tane is starting to question her ethics that she's learned in Fismith. She's starting to question whether a hierarchy is fair, whether it's good to be completely emotionless and just strive to be better, or if the whole trial and error thing that we humans have going on pretty well now is the way that life is supposed to be lived. She starts to question who she is, what she's been taught, and what she really wants. This book is told in 3 different points of view: Tane, Charlie, and Gaius. We have not talked about Gaius yet. I'll pretty much just let you figure out who he is as you read it. He's very important. He is also a Fismithian, and he's also a listener. But you'll come in to know him as you read. So yeah, that's plot, characters, and theme. And so that's my little tiny review of my own book. You should definitely buy it and read it and review it and tell me what you think of it and enjoy it. I really want you to enjoy it because it took a lot of effort for me to get through. So I'm going to go, but I will see you guys later, probably at the end of the week, because I have a book review I have to post. There are people walking down there. Hi, people walking down there.